Hello and welcome to Courts Today by Live Law. Let us get to today's top legal headlines. The Supreme Court has told Centre to implement cashless treatment scheme for accident victims in true spirit. Saying that the ED is crossing all limits and violating federal structure, the Supreme Court has stayed ED investigation against Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation. The top court has reinstated a Rajasthan judicial officer who was dismissed over alleged concealment of government job. The Punjab and Haryana High Court today received a bomb threat and courtrooms were vacated as a precautionary measure. BJP-led Delhi government has sought to withdraw from the Supreme Court petition filed by Aam Aadmi Party government against LG's appointment as Solid Waste Monitoring Committee head. And the Apex Court has directed for 204 vacancies in the Pollution Control Committee to be filled. I am Urvashi Chauhan with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For a detailed reading, you can always visit our website at www.livelaw.in. Please make sure to watch this video till the end and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. The Supreme Court has directed the central government to implement cashless treatment scheme for road accident victims 2025 in its true letter and spirit. The scheme was notified on 5th May this year and aims to provide free treatment of up to 1.5 lakh for road accident victims during the crucial golden hour or the first hour after a traumatic injury. The bench comprising Justices Abhay S. Oak and Ujjal Bhuya asked the government to file an affidavit by the end of August this year, detailing the implementation status, including the number of beneficiaries. The court also directed the centre to give wide publicity to the scheme so that more people are aware of their rights in the event of an accident. The scheme has been framed under Section 162 of the Motor Vehicles Act 1988, which came into force on 1st April 2022. However, the court had earlier criticized the government for the delay in notifying the scheme despite the law already being in force. Under the scheme, let me tell you, road accident victims are entitled to cashless treatment for up to 7 days at designated hospitals immediately after being brought in. During an earlier hearing, the court had summoned the Secretary of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways to explain the delay in notifying the scheme. The Secretary had informed the court that a draft was prepared but implementation was delayed due to objections from the General Insurance Council. The court had then observed that if the council was not cooperating, another agency should be appointed. Justice Oak had strongly remarked that people were dying on highways because of the absence of such a scheme and questioned the rationale of expanding road infrastructure without ensuring emergency medical care. The scheme has now officially come into effect from 5th May this year, and the court has said that any objections to it will be considered at the appropriate time. In the next update, the top court today stayed the Enforcement Directorate's investigation and raids against Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation, sharply criticizing the agency for overstepping its authority. A bench led by Chief Justice of India B.R. Gavai and Justice A.G. Massi was hearing petitions filed by the state of Tamil Nadu and the corporation challenging Madras High Court's order that allowed ED searches at the corporation's headquarters. During the hearing, CJI Gavai expressed serious concern and said that ED is crossing all limits and totally violating the federal structure of the country. He questioned how a criminal case could be registered against a government corporation and emphasized that while individuals may be prosecuted, the corporation itself cannot be targeted in such a manner. Senior advocate Kapil Sibal, who was appearing for the state, informed the court that Tamil Nadu had already registered 41 FIRs between the years 2014 and 2021 against private liquor outlet operators for alleged corruption. However, the ED stepped in only in 2025, conducted raids on the corporation's headquarters, seized officials' phones, and cloned their data. The court noted that ED's actions raise serious issues of privacy and federal overreach and ordered a stay on all further proceedings against the corporation for now. However, it refused to pass further orders restricting ED's use of the seized data, stating that interim relief had already been granted. ASG SV Raju, appearing for ED, argued that the case involved 1,000 crore liquor scam and that the agency had acted based on FIRs registered by state's own anti-corruption wing. He also alleged that politicians were being protected. The CJI, however, questioned the lack of predicate offence under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and reminded the center of the limits of ED's jurisdiction. Let me tell you, this comes amid allegations that distilleries siphoned off huge sums as unaccounted cash to gain liquor supply contracts from the corporation, and that corporation shops were overcharging customers beyond the MRP. Earlier, the Madras High Court had dismissed the corporation's plea against ED's searches, rejecting claims of harassment and upholding the agency's search procedures. Well, the matter now remains under Supreme Court's consideration, with ED expected to file a detailed reply. In a key decision, the Supreme Court has reinstated Pinky Meena, a former judicial magistrate from Rajasthan who was dismissed from service in 2020 over allegations of hiding prior government employment and academic impropriety. A bench comprising Justices B.V. Nagratna and Satish Chandra Sharma allowed her appeal and set aside the Rajasthan High Court full bench's dismissal order, directing her reinstatement with notional pay fixation, though without back wages. The court also clarified that Meena will be treated as having successfully completed her probation and as a confirmed employee. Let me tell you, Meena had joined as teacher grade 2 in 2014, and while still in service, she applied for the post of Civil Judge Junior Division in 2017. She cleared the exam and was appointed to judiciary in 2019. The High Court later terminated her, citing failure to disclose her earlier job and allegedly pursuing academic degrees in violation of university norms. The top court, however, found merit in her explanation that she had resigned due to illness before joining the judiciary and had taken corrective action regarding overlapping studies. The court's decision brings relief to Meena now and marks a significant precedent in cases involving probationers and procedural fairness in judicial appointments. And now let me tell you, tension gripped the Punjab and Haryana High Court today afternoon after a bomb threat was received, leading to evacuation of courtrooms and immediate tightening of security. The High Court Bar Association issued an alert requesting all members to remain vigilant and report any suspicious or unattended items. Lawyers were advised to vacate courtrooms as a precautionary step. Security checks were promptly initiated and proceedings were temporarily halted. But as per notice, court proceedings did resume at 2 p.m. after lunch. Moving ahead, the BJP-led Delhi government today sought to withdraw an appeal filed by the former Aam Aadmi Party government in the Supreme Court, challenging the NGT order that appointed Lieutenant Governor as the head of Solid Waste Monitoring Committee in the national capital. The request was mentioned before a bench of Justices Suryakant and N. Koteshwar Singh by Additional Solicitor General Aishwarya Bhati, who informed the court that the government also seeks to withdraw 6 other related cases pertaining to an ordinance, an act, and LG's chairmanship in various committees. The bench agreed to list all 7 matters on Friday. In an order dated 16th February 2023, let me tell you, the NGT appointed Delhi LG as the chairperson of Solid Waste Monitoring Committee, citing urgent need for high-level oversight to tackle the city's waste management crisis. The tribunal remarked that despite 18 years of monitoring by the top court and 9 years by NGT, no significant improvements had been achieved. The committee includes top officials from Delhi government, Municipal Corporation of Delhi, DDA, and several union ministries, and is tasked with crucial responsibilities, for example, setting up new waste processing units, upgrading existing facilities, and cleaning up legacy waste sites. The Aam Aadmi Party-led Delhi government had challenged this order in the top court under Section 22 of the NGT Act, arguing that local governance, public health and sanitation fall under the exclusive domain of elected Delhi government and municipal bodies as per Schedule 12 of the Constitution. That under Article 239 AA, LG is only a nominal head except in matters of land, police and public order, and that the NGT order violated federal principles by allowing the LG to preside over a body involving budgetary decisions, thereby sidelining the elected government. The plea had maintained that only the Delhi government can authorize funding and execute large-scale infrastructural work for solid waste management, and thus the LG should not be placed at the helm. Well, now with a change in the government, the BJP-led administration has decided to drop the legal challenge, signaling a policy shift in Delhi's approach to administrative authority and waste management governance. And lastly, in a stern move, the Supreme Court has directed the Delhi government to fill all 204 vacant posts in the Delhi Pollution Control Committee by 30th September this year, warning that any failure to comply will be treated as a case of aggravated contempt of court. A bench of Justice Abhay S. Oak and Justice Ujjal Bhuya passed the order in a suo moto contempt case arising from Delhi and other NCR states' failure to fill sanctioned posts in their pollution control bodies. The court observed that laxity being shown by the government cannot be tolerated, especially when Delhi is worst affected in terms of air pollution for at least 3 months every year. Referring to an affidavit submitted by the Chief Secretary of Delhi, the court noted that only 83 out of 344 sanctioned posts in the DPCC have been filled so far. Recruitment for 36 additional posts is currently underway. In an earlier hearing, the court had issued contempt notice to the Chief Secretaries of Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Rajasthan for failing to comply with its previous direction from 27th August 2024, which had ordered all vacancies in pollution control boards and committees to be filled by 30th April this year. The top court has now made it mandatory for the Delhi government to begin recruitment at least 6 months in advance for anticipated vacancies. Non-compliance with this direction would also be treated as aggravated contempt. The matter will next be heard on 21st October this year to assess compliance. Let me tell you, this directive comes as Delhi battles recurrent air quality emergencies, particularly in winter months, and the DPCC is often rendered ineffective due to chronic understaffing. The court's strong language and fixed deadline signals its zero tolerance approach to administrative delays and worsen public health crisis.